Hey, what's going on, guys? Stat305 back here with another video. So, in today's video, we're going to talk about my market crash plan for the year 2022-2023. So, if you guys don't know yet, or if you haven't been watching the news and keeping up with recent events, the DOJ is predicted that the stock market will crash sometime in late 2022 or in early 2023. So this video, we're going to talk and get you guys prepped for when that happens. So this is going to be the first episode of the podcast. So it's not going to be like any of my other videos when I'm writing a script and editing it out and adding all these like colorful effects and stuff. It's just going to be me talking. But I promise you guys, if you stick to the end of this video, you will find some useful information in this slideshow that I'm about to show you to help you better prep for what's about to come. So with that being said, let's start the first episode of the podcast. Also, I'm not on camera right now because I cut my face while shaving, so I don't want to be on camera so you guys can see that. But my future podcast, I will be on camera so I can feel like I'm talking to you guys directly. But let's get into it. So first thing we need to talk about, the stock market is crashing. So like I said before, the DOJ, Wall Street, and the SP 500 have all confirmed that the stock market will eventually crash. When it will crash, they're predicting sometime later in 2022 around August, September time, or in early 2023 around February, March time. We don't know at this point, but there's confirming that it will eventually happen. So what are we going to do to prevent that? So if you guys have been around long enough or been alive long enough, you guys know that market crashes happen. It's happened before. If you are alive long enough, you will experience this again. Like we had the 2020 crash when COVID-19 hit. We had the global financial crisis in 2028. And we had the dot-com bubble. I was alive for all three of those. I seen gas prices soar just like they are now. And I seen people lose jobs, factories close down, the housing market go crazy. I've been alive for all of them. And like I said before, if you're alive for any of this again, you will see it again. So what should you do now that the market is crashing? Well, first thing I'm going to do is check the stocks and see what we're buying. So what type of stocks would I be buying right now that the market is crashing? Because eventually it's going to go up and you're going to need to get some of those gains. So what are the best stocks to buy? Renewable energy companies. So if you guys have watched any of my video before, you know I've talked about renewable energy companies before because that is the wave of the future. Whether we like it or not, this new Green Deal Biden and the House Democrats are talking about will come to fruition, and they've already prepped for it already. So right now, President Joe Biden has already proceeded to allot $555 billion in climate change investments already approved by the House with the Build Back Better Act. If you don't know what the Build Back Better Act is, I seriously suggest you research it because it's basically them combating climate change and getting away from big oil companies, coal companies, all these companies that they claim hurts the environment, and basically going green to sustain basically Earth. So anything that has to do with wind power, solar power, water power, this is what we're moving towards in the future, whether you like it or not. The climate change program also includes tax incentives to expand and accelerate investments in renewable energy power for the generations to come. Also included in that climate change proposal is to provide an electric vehicle credit tax ranging from $7,500 to $12,500 for vehicles built at unionized factories in the U.S. And we'll talk about that later when I talk about cars dealing with this. So if you guys are looking for some good renewable energy companies to invest in, here's a list of what I'm invested in right now. Like I said before, do your own research before you go investing in any stocks. Make sure to read up on them. So right now we got the SunPower Corporation. We got Brookfield Renewable Partners LP, Consolidated Edison Incorporated, Plug Power Incorporated, Sonova Energy International Inc., Bloom Energy Corporation, Canadian Solar Inc., and Enphase Energy. All of these right here are the top picks right now for renewable energy companies. And also a lot, if you check that Build Back Better Act and see where that $555 billion that got allotted, you'll see that a lot of these companies that are on this list have already been allotted a government contract and money from that Build Back Better Act. So make sure you do your research on these companies, see which ones you like, see what innovations they're doing, and see which ones you want to invest in. Because whether we like it or not, this is where the U.S. is going when it comes to renewable energy. It's going to come. Like, I promise y'all, it's going to come. And like I said before, with that tax credit ranging from $75,000 to 12,500 for vehicles, with that electric vehicle tax, we have a bunch of electric car stocks that are going to soar because people are going to want to get their hands on electric cars. Gas are already crazy right now. I'm thinking about trading my Camaro in for an electric car because gas prices are outrageous right now. And a lot of people are thinking about doing the same because, like I said before, we're moving towards that in the future. Right now, California has a mandate where in the next 10 years, they won't even be selling any gas-powered cars because it's going to be all electric. They're going to outlaw the sale of any gasoline-powered car in California within the next 10 years. So it's going to be all electric cars in California. Like California has, if you know anything about the economy, California has damn near the largest economy in the U.S., if not the largest economy in the U.S. So what do you think is going to happen when they outlaw gasoline cars? All these electric car companies are going to soar straight to California to sell their cars. And you know who are going to be some of the top competitors when it comes to that? Tesla. We all know what Tesla is. Elon Musk is literally a household name by this point, and Tesla is literally the leading go-getter in the poster board for electric cars. Everybody knows what a Tesla is. Everybody knows that that's an electric car. I guarantee you in the next coming years, everybody's going to have some type of electric car, and mainly everybody's going to have a Tesla. So that's like self-explanatory. So Neo Inc. is a new startup company in China. It's a China-based startup company. So if you guys haven't heard about this one yet, it's because it's still up and coming. They're hoping by next year to have a lot more vehicles out. But right now, like I said before, another startup company, which actually is good because unlike Tesla Inc., you already have an established brand. So there's not really much gain to be made on that company because I think their stocks are like at like $900 to $1,000 right now. So think about the overhead on that. Like, how much more is a Tesla stock going to be worth versus you buying a startup company whose stocks are probably at maybe $7 or $8 a share? And think about in the near future when they eventually get rid of gasoline cars and go all electric, how much that share is going to be worth. Just like people who bought Amazon for $3 and now it's worth like $700 a share. Imagine. So we got another great electric car stock, General Motors. If you don't know, General Motors has been in the electric car game for a couple years, and they're stating that they're coming out with even more electric vehicles. They have a electric Mustang that I know musclehead car owners are going to hate, but I'm looking at it and it looks pretty good. So I don't really like Mustangs as far as I like Camaros, but if GM drops this electric Mustang, then I might gravitate towards that. And they also state that they have over 30 EV models in production by 2025, meaning that they're going to have over 30 different car models for electric cars. Think about that when you're looking at GM. We have Ford. Just like I said about GM, same thing with Ford. They have, I take that back. I forgot. Ford is the one with the electric Mustang. Sorry. Like I said, I'm going to mess up in this podcast some. But we're going to fix this mistake. GM has over 30 different car selections that are going to be electric. That doesn't include the Mustang. Take that back. Ford is the one who has the electric Mustang that I'm looking at right now. So that's my bad on that. And this is not really an electric car company, but you got to think about it. When people start getting all these electric cars, what are they going to do with them? Everybody's not going to charge their car at home, right? So they're going to be out and about on vacation, taking business trips, going to the grocery store and everything. How are they going to charge their cars? With Blink charging. You ever been to Whole Foods, Kroger, or any type of gas station and you see those electric chargers out in the parking lot? Who do you think is making those? Like, think about it. And think about all the companies that are making those that are just starting out right now. And think about how many more of those companies are going to be out in the future when everybody starts getting electric cars. So right now, they're developing manufacturing for big cars, truck, SUVs, vans, and all those. But eventually, they're going to have every single charger that you could think of. So 18-wheelers, all of that. Blink charging is the one to go with when you're looking at these companies. They've already been allotted a couple $2 billion. And like I said before, with all these other companies, they're probably going to be partnering up with Blink Charger to make specific or like branded chargers. So like I said before, look out for Blink Charger. Another thing to look out for, Nikola, another great electric car company that's on a startup. They state that their car, well, they have two different model cars. So they're mainly focused on semi-trucks and 18-wheelers right now from what I read. And they're basically focused, like, release for their press. And like I said before, when we move towards these hydrogen fuel like trucks and electric trucks, 18-wheelers, I know a lot of truck drivers are going to be ecstatic when they can just pay like maybe $100 for an electric charge versus paying $500 in gas. Like, think about it. If you can go 500 to 1,000 miles off straight electricity versus paying damn near $500 for the same distance with gasoline cars, when that comes out, Nikola is going to be ahead of the game. They already have 18-wheeler models out right now that they've been testing, and they honestly look pretty good. If I'm saying so myself. We got Workhorse Group, another electric car company, and then we have Xingping Inc., which is another Chinese startup company. So make sure you guys are checking for these electric car stocks. So another thing that I want to talk about as far as stocks to look towards is construction stocks. Construction companies will be around forever. They have been around forever. They're not going anywhere right now. And with the current housing crisis, they have been put to work a lot. Think about it. In your city right now, how many different housing complexes or apartment complexes have you seen thrown up within like the last year or two? Maybe 3, 4. Maybe take them like a year to throw them up. Like, they're not going anywhere. So these are the top picks for those companies. So we got Caterpillar, which is a construction and mining equipment company. Their market cap right now is at $119 billion. Nucor, which is a steel company, their valuation is at $39 billion. United Rentals, equipment rentals for job sites, and their valuation is at $25 billion. Vulcan Materials, their valuation is $23 billion, and they deal with aggregates, concrete, and asphalt. Then we got Fluor, $4 billion, engineering and construction, and then we have NV5 Global, $2 billion in valuation, and their engineering and project management. So these are my top 6 picks for construction stocks. If you guys are looking into those type of things, like I said before, construction companies will be around forever. They're not going anywhere. And that market is currently growing with a lot of construction and housing development projects going on right now across the U.S., period. So another thing I want to talk about, because I know a lot of people probably don't have this because they're stretched out on cash. This is really important. You need to start a savings account. I don't care if it's $20, $50, $100, $200. Whatever you can afford to put back in that savings, I guarantee you're going to wish you had done it when this thing goes down. Even if you don't feel like you need a savings because you're making a lot of money at your job or you're barely getting by, living paycheck to paycheck, I guarantee you that $10 you spent at McDonald's, you're going to wish you had in a couple of months when you're looking at your gas hand damn near on E. Start a savings account right now. The inflation is way too damn high for you not to have a backup plan. You never know what is going to happen. You might catch a flat tire. You might need an oil change later on. You might have someone break in your house and steal something important and you need money to replace that. Doesn't matter what reason, always have a backup plan and start a savings account. I guarantee you're going to need that money later on. It never fails. You know how many times people have been looking at their bank account and decided to go buy something, or they absolutely needed something, and then they check their bank account and see that they don't have money for it. When this economy goes to crap like it is in the next couple of weeks, I guarantee you're going to wish you had that savings, especially when these companies file for bankruptcy and start laying people off. I guarantee you're going to want that. So that might sound like a common sense thing to say, but not a lot of people do that in this generation, I notice. Another thing, get a credit card. Just like the savings account, a credit card is a good backup plan. And right now, credit is key because these APRs on houses, cars, and everything else, loans, are crazy, and you're gonna want that good credit so you can get into these programs. Even renting an apartment, like people want $1,000 down if you have crappy credit for a security deposit. Like, you're gonna want your credit to be good, so get a credit card. Also, with getting a credit card, along with fixing your credit or having good credit, a credit card is a good backup plan for when you are broke. I don't care what nobody tells you. A credit card and having a credit line when you need to get something but don't have all the money to get it right then and there, a credit card is a good backup plan. Now, with that being said, if you need to purchase something and it costs $100 and you only have $50 in your bank account, as soon as you get that $100, use your credit card, but make sure you pay off that balance as quickly as possible because these APRs on these credit cards are getting outrageous. Also, you do not want that balance to carry over to next month because you're just going to be more in debt. If you get a credit card, use it to fix your credit. Make sure you're using it to pay like a bill. Even like now, I use my credit card to get gas. I go spend $60 on gas. I'll wait 2 or 3 days for it to actually publish in my app so I can see that the charge has already been there and it's not pending anymore. And then once I see that balance hit my actual like balance, I'll go in there, pay it. Looks like a good on-time payment. You do a couple of months of that, then increase your credit line. You have even more money to spend. Like, I have 2 credit cards right now. I have one with a $4,000 credit limit, and I have another credit card with a $1,500 credit limit. I've only had one of those credit cards for 2 years, and I've only had the other credit card for like a year and a couple of months. You want to have that access to that backup plan. That's all I got to say about credit cards. Get one. Be very responsible with using it. My next thing, start a business or a good side hustle. Always have multiple sources of income. I don't care what you're doing right now. If you're working a regular 9-to-5 job, you need a side hustle just in case your 9-to-5 job doesn't pan out. Even when I was working my 9-to-5 job, I still was doing YouTube on the side. I still was doing all those side hustles that you see in my videos all the time, because you never want to only have one source of income. That's sort of like putting your eggs all in one basket. If you lose that one source of income, you are stuck. I have multiple videos on my YouTube page right now discussing different side hustles. Pick one, start doing it. There is no excuse. I know some of y'all have kids, y'all work, y'all 9-to-5 job, y'all probably going to school. You can take an hour or two throughout the day, find a side hustle. I know a lot of people don't have good ideas to start a business, but if you do have an idea and you want to start a business, I have a video on that already about how to get an LLC in Georgia. It's pretty much universal around the United States. It only costs $100 to start a business. Even if you do not get a LLC, you can still have a side business where you're making side money. Ask any or watch any interview with any millionaires or billionaires. They will say they have multiple sources of income. Like I said before, if your only source of income is your 9-to-5 job, then you are throwing all your eggs in one basket. And I guarantee you, when this when this recession happens, it will come back to bite you in the butt. My next point, just like I said, with the credit card and savings points, have a financial plan and consolidate as much debt as you can. Always have a financial plan. How many times have you seen these rappers, artists, or childhood actors, anybody who's had money before, how many times have you seen them go from rich on top of the world and all of a sudden they're broke? Because they made one too many bad investments. They bought one too many chains, one too many cars. They probably bought into a company that didn't do good. They probably bought like a house that was in a crappy market. Like, always have yourself a financial plan together. For instance, let's say for the month of June, right now, I make $5,000, right, for that month. Well, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set aside all the monies I have for my bills. So say, for instance, my bills are $2,000 for that month. Well, now I only got $3,000 left. That $3,000, I'm going to split that in half, and I'm going to put $1,500 in my savings. Because you always want to have money in your savings, like I said before. Now with that other $1,500, you're probably thinking, well, you can just spend that other $1,500, do whatever you want with it. No, because for instance, myself, I'm self-employed. So I got to take half of that and I got to put it in another savings account because that's what I got to give Uncle Sam for taxes off that $5,000. It's probably a little bit more than that, but we're just using that as an example. So now I got $750. So with that $750, now I got to go buy groceries and I got to buy stuff for the house. And then whatever left after that, then, I can spend on whatever I want to for the rest of the month. But that's how my financial plan works for me. Even though I might have like $300, $400 to spend, afterwards, I'll never be broke. I can promise you that. I might say I'm broke, but I guarantee you, there's about $20K in the savings, $30K in the savings. I guarantee you, there's another bank account with about $20K, $30K in the savings. But that's just from my viewpoint right now because I'm just starting out. There's a lot of people who have no financial plan who are just getting the money, spending it. Like that song where it's like, get a check and spend it right. Get a check and spend it and get it right back. You not want to do that. Living a paycheck to paycheck sucks. I've done that before. That shit sucks. You don't want to do it. Like I said, have a financial plan. And with having a financial plan with this recession coming up, you want to consolidate as much debt as possible. Think about everything that you don't need to spend money on or that you're spending money on that's basically wasting away that you can consolidate down. You got Hulu, Netflix, HBO, Disney Plus, and you don't watch it at all? Cancel it. Like, there's an extra $10, $15 you can save each month. You got a $20, $30 gym membership, and you don't use your gym membership at all because you're too tired from work and stuff? I know having a healthy, fit body, I go to the gym 4 times, 5 times a week. I know a healthy, fit body is good, but if you're not using your gym membership, cancel it. Go to a track, run around, do some push-ups. Go to the playground, do some pull-ups. But if you're not using it, then why are you spending money on it? You don't need it. They're just like examples of things that you can do to help consolidate down debt unnecessary debt. You got things sitting around the house that you absolutely don't use? Put it on Facebook Marketplace, sell it. It's just sitting there collecting dust. Why are you holding on to it? Make money. Like I said before, get you some side hustles, make some extra money on the side, pay off that car quicker than you could. You got a loan in your name, go ahead and get that. Like, sell some stuff around the house, cancel Netflix, Hulu, your gym membership, put that money towards that. Do whatever you can without basically losing yourself to consolidate that debt down. And what I mean by losing yourself is selling your precious items. Like, I'm not saying go find that 18 karat gold necklace that your husband gave you and go sell it because you need to get your car payments down. I'm saying stuff that you unnecessarily don't need. But like I said before, I don't like to be long-winded. I just want to talk about some things, get some points across. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Leave me some comments on how I can make the podcast better. This was just the initial first episode of me going over some thoughts. I promise you these will get better as time goes along once I finish and get some formatting together. And leave me a comment down below. Let me know how I did. Let me know anything you guys want to share with the community, because I know you guys like to talk, and my Facebook, and tell me titles. You guys probably can hear right now that I'm sort of tired while doing this, but I had to get this done because this is a series that I'm really going to be passionate about, and we're going to work on this together so I can help you guys save money, make money, and we can grow together. But like I said before, first episode of the podcast, we're done with it. 27 minutes in. See you guys in the next video. Peace.